Hello and welcome to Inside Campbell Basketball with Campbell head coach Kevin McGeehan. I'm Chris Hemeyer. On today's show, we'll show you highlights from the last 3 victories. We will talk about our 3 student athletes who made it on the Big South Conference postseason, all conference teams, and we will talk about this 7-game win streak. Coach, 7-game win streak. Your team finishes 3rd in the Big South Conference. What has it been like for you, the coaching staff, and the players to be on this ride?
Well, it's been fun. I mean, it's fun to coach this team kind of regardless of our outcomes. I think our approach has been very just workmanlike. Guys come in, they work, they have fun, and, we're taking care of a lot of small things, I think. We're sort of, the attention to detail has been pretty good, and I think that has allowed us to have a lot of that translate to game results. And, I think that there's a lot of positives going on right now, and I think that the guys are feeling good about how we're playing, because it's not, there's nothing fluky about it, and there's nothing that we're not being solely carried by one individual. It's a lot of team concepts that's what's carrying us.
You just mentioned having fun when you described your team. In this year where so many things are not fun because of the restrictions and the things you're asking your guys to give up on and off the court, this team still has this joy within them. It's something that I see from the sidelines. Do you see that too, day in and day out?
Yeah, I do. It's not every team's like that. I think at times it gets to be where it's like work and a job, and I don't feel like that at all with this team, and maybe it's just the mentality that we've had throughout the year of this is just an incredible opportunity that we even get to play, and the guys have done a really good job trying to make sure that we're safe and continue to try to have a chance to play. And then I think there's been a bit of a change. I feel like about mid-season, Messiah's just changed the energy of our team with his energy in practice, and I think that combined with Jordan being just who he is, I think has really changed our dynamic on our team. I'm not really sure. I mean, we had some conversations about that would be something that would be valuable for our team, but he's been the one that's done it every day, whether it's just talking us through the warm-up and just making sure that we start off our practices well. I think that's been that's a big reason why our energy level and the guys' sort of enjoyment of the process has been what it is.
Coach, how do you keep this momentum going from the regular season to the most important part of the season, the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a very kind of microscopic feel to how we've gone about things and not gotten too worried about the big picture and just trying to be the best we can be. It sounds like a cliche, but I do think that there's something too, just like we've been pretty organized in how we've gone about trying to make sure that we improved in areas. Our rebounding has been an area that's clearly gotten better as the season's gone along with a lot of work, things like that, and just the consistency of our approach to evaluating how we're doing on a daily basis or a game-by-game basis, coming back and watching film and looking at the things we need to improve, looking at the positives, and then just sort of turning the page and trying to apply to the next situation. And I think because we've kind of kept it in that box, I think it's helped us stay sort of level while we're doing pretty well. And we just need to continue that because other than the fact that when you lose at this point you don't get to play again, there's these are the teams that we've played all year, and I guess except UNC Asheville if we see them. And so it's just a basketball game. It's just 40 minutes of basketball, and if we do the things well that we've been emphasizing throughout the year and continue to play together, and I think bring that good energy of the enjoyment of playing the game and playing the game together, I think we'll have a decent chance at good results.
Good results indeed over this last week. You went all the way to Hampton, Virginia to take on a team that was virtually tied with you in the standings. And as we take a look at the highlights, boy, guard Messiah Thompson, you mentioned his energy in practice. That has spilled over into the games. 21 points, a career high in this game. How have you seen his game change this year?
Just confidence. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Just sort of just getting more comfortable in his own, in his own game, in his own skin with our team. I think his defense has gotten better as the season's gone along, which has allowed him to have more opportunity. And he clearly is a special offensive player in a lot of ways and brings things that other players on the team in the league can't. Lots of people have always probably told him that he's small and that basketball is not for him and all that kind of stuff. So he plays with a little bit of a different energy because of that. But there are advantages to being smaller, and the angles with which he can see passes, and obviously ball handling and passing and playmaking, and obviously he's a terrific outside shooter. So he's just sort of evolved as a player, which often happens in your college career. None of these guys are ready-made, and it takes hard work, and it takes sort of an understanding of how college basketball works and how to function within a college basketball program. And I think he's just sort of gotten on that arc at this point.
Cedric Henderson added 14, Josh Lucey nearly a double-double, 9 and 9, and Austin McCullough had 9 points and 5 rebounds off the bench, a 76-57 blowout victory. Then game 2 against Hampton, less than 24 hours later, your team down 12, 9 minutes to go. You turn it into a 5-point win. What changed? What did it take to come back in that game?
Yeah, I don't think that we were really playing our best basketball, and we just kind of emphasized getting trust in each other. That's been a theme when we've and this happens with all teams, but you have your moments where it doesn't feel like it's going to go your way, and then maybe guys try a little bit too much individually, which sometimes the results work, but sometimes they don't. And when they don't, it has an ability to snowball the other way, and it can affect the defensive side of the ball as well. So just really emphasizing, trusting each other and continuing to trust the plan and stick with it. And I thought the guys did a really good job down the stretch of just doing exactly that, getting to second and third actions in our sets and digging in and getting stops, which I really think we did when we needed it. It's not, there's no perfect formula for how to come back in a game or anything like that. We emphasized to them going into the series and at halftime that we were going to be the deeper team, we were going to be the fresher team, we were going to be the team that if we just keep working, we'll eventually break through. And that kind of showed up a lot in the second game there, where I think we had a little bit more to give. They had a little bit of a more loaded stretch on their schedule, and they don't play as many guys. And I think we eventually wore them down and made some plays that we kind of mentioned post game is like you watch a lot of games when you coach basketball. You watch games that your team plays, you watch your opponents, and then you watch other games because you love basketball, and follow teams and programs that are established and do well because you're trying to figure out how to be that. And that game in particular, that second game, to me felt like one of those ones that I watch and maybe Winthrop in our league, or at different times it's been different teams in our league, Asheville and stuff like that. It's just kind of like it's like a boxing match, and you know, you're not quite seeing when it's going to happen, and then just slowly it turns, and they make just enough plays, and then just know how to manage the end, and figure out how to win the game, and that's what happened. And so I thought that was a good thing for us.
Jordan Whitfield had 10 points in the final 4 minutes. Our Baptiste Tejan, one of the newest members of our digital media crew, was at the game and has this cinematic recap at the sensational comeback.
Campbell is the hottest team in the Big South Conference, winning 5 straight and 7 of their last 9. Tonight in Virginia, the Fighting Camels try for 6 in a row, something that no Campbell team has done in over a decade. Dribbles baseline, back to Lucane, unloads a 3, nails it. Flashes a pass left wing, Whitfield a 3, swish. Thompson, NBA range, 3 straight on, bullseye. Back to Lucane, another 3 on the way, good! And Campbell will go into that halftime locker room down 6, 41-35. Henderson at the top of the key, over to Messiah, catches, dribbles baseline, reverse layup goes down. Fires a pass to Whitfield, 1 dribble, 3, and the foul. Long rebound to Whitfield, down low to Jesus, hook shot, rims in. Sets a pick, Whitfield from the elbow, no, Henderson flies through, grabs the rebound, puts it back in from the left block. Back to Whitfield, 3 for the lead, yes sir! Whitfield hits it, Campbell has their first lead since the first half. Double team, Clemens steals the ball, 3-on-1 the other way, Clemens, bounce pass, left side, Thompson, back to Henderson for the dunk. And Campbell coming back from being down 12 halfway through the second half. Clutch plays late from their senior. And a 73-68 victory, sweeping Hampton and giving Campbell their 6th straight win. The last time Campbell men's basketball did that, it was over a decade ago. The Camels on fire.
Well, after that 2-game sweep, you turn right around, take on your rival High Point here at home, and a 20-point victory, but you hold the High Point Panthers to 48 points, and more importantly, their star, the 10th leading scorer in the nation of John Michael, right, to just 13 points. How did you do such a great defensive job on him and the team?
Well, you know, I think the previous season we were in a kind of a weird spot. I mean, just not quite in rhythm as a team, and he kind of had his way in our gym. I think he hit 7 or 8 threes, and I think 6 or 7 of them were in the last 5 minutes of the game. I think we were up 8 with 8 with 10 minutes left or something, or 10, and he kind of just took over, and we didn't have an answer. So we really worked hard to try to make sure that he wasn't the reason. You know, I think we had a good game plan. We actually had, knowing that there was a chance it would be 2 games, multiple other ways that we were going to try to make sure that, you know, we made him have a hard game, or made him not the reason that we didn't win. So we didn't actually end up having to get to all those. But I mean, big credit goes to Ricky Clemens. He was outstanding. You know, in my opinion, he's the defensive player of the year in this league. And I don't think that I don't think he gets quite enough credit in some ways, because he doesn't have steals. I mean, he has steals, but he doesn't lead the league in steals or blocks, like, you know, often is the what would attract you to vote for him or whatever. But like, he has had some incredible defensive games here down the stretch, you know, with Warren and now Wright, and he's going to have some work to do this week as well. But he really did a good job on him. I was just really focused. Our team was super focused coming in, and had really good energy. I think they played like they knew what was on the line, and it was great to see.
It was great to see. Baptiste was there for that big win and has this recap of the 20-point win over High Point.
Fighting Camels of Campbell have won 6 straight games, rocketing up the Big South standings and needing just one more win to cement a third-place conference finish. Here comes Thompson in transition. That's a high percentage shot. The one-handed dunk for Josh Lucerne. Whitfield for 3. Bingo. And a good look for 2. Mccullough with the layup, make it 18. Good step back in front of Wright, nails it. Thompson, quick first step to the hole, gives it up. Henderson. My goodness, what a play. Campbell suddenly red hot after a slow start to the first half. Henderson all the way to the hole and the flush. The exclamation point for Campbell. Up 25, their largest lead of the evening. Moksekis for 3, swish. And Campbell has clinched the 3rd seed in the Big South Conference Tournament and won their 7th straight game. It is the longest winning streak for Campbell since back in February of 1996. Campbell is on a roll, peaking at the right time.
Well, Coach, you mentioned, and I would agree with you, Ricky Clemens probably should have been Defensive Player of the Year. He was not, but 3 of your guys honored, Cedric Henderson Jr. and Jordan Whitfield, both on the second team. I voted for them a little higher as well, but a honor indeed. They are 6th and 7th in the conference in points per game. They are 1st and 2nd in field goal percentage, in the top 15 in so many different things. What can you say about what that duo has done for your team this year?
Well, I think first and foremost, the approach and the leadership that they've brought as far as, just how we're managing a very unique season, it would be easy to resist, oh, why do we have to put our masks on and, all this kind of stuff. And we're doing more than most as far as trying to be really diligent. And I think earlier in the season, for example, we had, one post game where the guys forgot to bring their masks from the court to the meeting room afterward, and we made them go back and get it and talked about it. And then since then, every single game, when we were walking off the court, I hear Jordan say masks. So that seems minor, but that's leadership in a lot of ways, because he recalled that was important to us, and that's important to our safety and ability to play, and he's taking the lead on that. Just things like that, I think, have really gone a long way to help us develop as a team. And I think because those guys are so locked in on the team, they've had really good, successful individual results as well. But they both work really hard. I mean, really care about being good at basketball. They care about Campbell and Campbell's basketball program and their teammates. And good things happen when those are your ingredients. Usually the success will follow. Now, we don't ever control the outcomes of voting and things like that, but if you do it right and you do it well enough and you work hard, usually it's going to follow. And in this case it did, and I'm really, really happy for them to have this honor to represent our school and the conference and be honored with the recognition.
Well, and another with that, Austin McCullough, transferred in and took a leadership role from the beginning. He is on the all-academic team. What does he do for you guys on and off the court?
Well, he's a really bright guy and, super conscientious academically. And I think that since that's part of this honor, I think that does go in because we talk about in our program, sort of the whole person and trying to make sure that we're developing them in all areas, on the court, off the court, socially and academically. And I think he sets a really, really good example of what it takes to manage being a student athlete at a high level, and then really I think the younger guys can look at him and say, okay, I can do this. Like he's not doing anything exceptional. He's having great results, and he's really intelligent. But he goes about his stuff the right way all the time, so that there's not a lot of things that slip through the cracks that can give him trip ups. And I think that sets a really good example for our team on that side. And basketball wise, he's just steady as she goes. The fact that he got hurt when he did and just was able to kind of work really hard with rehab. Obviously the healing is not necessarily in his control, but heal up and then just sort of come back in pretty seamlessly to our team, which could have been difficult because the mix had to have changed because of his lack of availability, and he seems to have found his stride. But I think he's really, just success is gonna be in his future no matter what he does. There's no question in my mind.
Congratulations to those three, and now take a breath. Postseason, it starts Monday. It will be at home, Gore Arena. Third-seeded Campbell takes on sixth-seeded Gardner-Webb. The game will be on ESPN3. Gardner-Webb coming in, you split with them earlier in the regular season. What will it take to beat the Runnin' Bulldogs?
Well, they have some really good players, and they have some really good young guys that have sort of like we've evolved during the season. They've evolved as well because their young guys have gotten even more experience. They have some freshmen that are really, really playing good basketball right now, and their leader and their senior, Jaheim Cornwell, is about as good as there is in the league. Just really, he's not as flashy as a John Michael Wright, maybe, or Davion Warren, but he's, in a lot of ways better because he's efficient and he's effective and really makes them go. We're going to need to slow down their shooters. They have multiple guys that really shoot the ball well from the outside, including Jaheim and Falco and one of the freshmen, Damarian Williams, really, really good shooters. So that's going to be a key. We need to slow them down in transition. And then, for us, it's a lot of, continuing to evolve with the physicality and rebounding in the game because, they play a couple big guys, Reed and Dufial. Those guys are really, really big, strong, physical guys that can affect the game by rebounding the ball and drawing fouls and scoring around the basket. So those are going to be keys. I think we're going through film now and trying to really fine-tune our game plan. But I think that a lot of, at this time of the year, and this probably would go for most coaches, is, it's not going to be about gimmicks. This is about being the best version of yourself. Obviously, you're going to try to put yourself in the best situations to be your best self, but there's not a lot of trickery at this point in the year. You're going to be, you're going to be to your cores and your foundations, and they're a really good team. I wish they had to play Charleston Southern on Saturday, but that's the year of 2021, right? But they're really good. It's going to be a good matchup, and should be a fun game to coach in, to play in, and to watch.
It'll be fun. The postseason begins on Monday. Campbell and Gardner-Webb here at Go Arena. You can see it on ESPN3, and we'll have audio coverage for you for free on GoCamels.com. For Coach, I'm Chris saying so long. Thanks for watching Inside Campbell Basketball.